Welcome back to IGN Live here at Gamescom 2018. I am joined by Gabe, who is a game director and chief creative officer for QC Games. You guys have a newly announced game, Breach. Can you tell us more about it?
Sure, yeah. So Breach is, at its core, it's a co-op action RPG. We've got a few game modes. You can play it solo, you can play it co-op. We also have a versus game mode. But I think the best place to start is we have a pretty unique setting as well. It's a hybrid of a bunch of different genres, but we have a pretty unique setting. I'll give a little bit of the backstory. 70,000 years ago, the human population nearly went extinct. This is a true story, by the way. You can look it up on Google, and I cross-reference it with Wikipedia, so it's true.
Perfect. That sounds like very reliable sources.
Scientists, they have theories as to what happened, but at QC Games, we know what happened. Humanity coexisted with everything from mythology. Back then. And so they were sort of at the bottom of the food chain. They were on the brink of extinction, and there was a mysterious immortal who said, I want to save humanity, so I'm going to create a veil that's going to separate Earth into two parallel Earths, everything on mythology on one side and the Earth we know and we're sitting in here today.
Yes.
Fast forward to modern days, and he's like looking at humanity, wars, last couple hundred years, and he's like, maybe I was wrong about humanity. This was a mistake. So he's taking it down. He's taking the veil down. He's breaching
the wall.
You beat me to the punch.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I took that from you. I was just so
the
excited.
The shameless title in the pitch. Integration. Yes, there's a breach in the veil. He breached the veil. And now the two worlds are becoming one. So what that allows us to do is have some pretty cool different kind of levels and areas for the dungeon crawl to go through. Like I think we're taking a look at Tokyo here, and it's Tokyo City, sort of rooftops of Tokyo, the ground level of Tokyo, and there's a Japanese haunted forest that's just kind of springing up in the middle of Tokyo. And the players fight their way through it. They fight various demons and stuff, but they also fight a lot of things from mythology, like Onis, Onryos, food dogs, things like that from regional mythology, Asian mythology.
There's a lot of things that can come out and kill you. That's what you're saying.
Yes, a lot of different things, and we have a lot of different. So the thing is, we went across the globe. We went to different areas in the globe. Japan being one of them. We have a couple levels in Japan. We also have. We went to where you have to go when you're talking about conspiracy theory for ancient history. Pyramids of Giza, Valley of the Kings. You fight Anubis, Sobek, Horus, Sekhmet, all these things from mythology, and then we were looking at other areas. We want to go to Mesoamerica at some point in time because QC stands for Quetzalcoatl. But we're not going there yet. Okay. We're not going there yet. That was an exclusive, by the way. I probably shouldn't have said that. Sorry, guys.
Surprise, guys. So we're looking at this game, or we were. But it seems like there's a lot of different classes. Can you tell us about those?
Sure, yeah. So we have dozens of different classes. When you create your character, you can go in and choose a class.
So create your character. So you can actually create a character.
You can create a character, like an RPG.
Like an RPG. Yes. So is this a character that you hold the whole time so it becomes your avatar, or you create a character in addition to all of the class options?
So when you create your character, you're doing your appearance, you're creating your avatar, you're getting your tattoos, your eye color, your hairstyle, you're making yourself look as cool as you want to look, and then you choose a class at the beginning. But then when you go on these co-op adventures, you get gold and you can buy other classes and you can swap classes.
That's super nice as somebody who really likes to choose a class and then decide that I want to be a different class.
Yeah, for sure.
So for all us indecisive gamers, that's very helpful. Thank you.
Alt-itis is sometimes what it's called, where you got to have alt characters. We made it a little bit easier. We took down some of those barriers. Well, here we're looking at the Library of Alexandria, because this is a sort of a social space that everyone kind of gets together. They do some fun dances, and there's training dummies there as well. So you can kind of get to practice your classes and stuff like that, group up. Right here we see him going into and switching classes. That avatar was just a mana warrior, which was like a bruiser. Now we're switching over to a gunslinger, which is kind of like inspired by a third-person shooter type of experience. That's another thing to mention about our classes. We kind of looked at it as almost the Super Smash Brothers kind of way. We're just taking from a bunch of different things in the RPG genre and action combat genre as inspirations. And so we've got kind of third-person shooters. We've got kind of traditional tanks. We also have inspired by sort of the Devil May Cry and God of War's, like an aerial combat type mechanics that you can launch them and then try to juggle them, pull them back up with a chain, all time type things. Not kind of canned, but like freeform.
Yeah. Well, that's so nice because it sounds like there's so many options for different play styles, because I know that sometimes, you have friends who play games, but they don't play the same games as you because, they don't enjoy other combats.
Yeah.
So then now you can be like, hey, no excuse.
Yeah,
Come play with me.
yeah. So yeah, we're trying to, right here, basically this is before the match. People are picking different things that they want to play. On the left side, you've got some hero mages. On the right side are the enemies.
Got it.
Now, there's sort of a cool thing. So every time you go into a match, there's different enemies that you encounter. So if you go into Tokyo, I think we're going to go into Tokyo here, you could be fighting one set of enemies one time, a different set of enemies another time. And so when you're in this screen, you'll see what you're coming up against. So you might want to choose, see, he can select all those different classes. You might want to choose a class based on what you're going up against.
Got it.
Yeah, so we kind of took part of that sort of counter picking thing, and that's you see in PvP a lot.
I was just
we
going to say
brought
that.
it into, because you can do that in solo mode, you can do it in PvE mode, and then we'll talk a little bit more about a versus mode in a bit. So in addition to those monsters from mythology that you can fight, you also can fight, or there's another entity that's there called the Veil Demon.
Okay, is that like the boss?
No, it's like a sort of a malevolent spirit that kind of haunts you throughout. And you might catch it there. It's that smoke monster that kind of looks like a Death Eater from Harry Potter or whatever.
That does not look like something I want to hang out with.
Yeah. So you can't attack it. It can't attack you, but it summons powers and terrain from the parallel Earth. So it can have like spike traps that come
So is that
underneath
what's
you.
happening right now? I see it's kind of like jumping around a little bit.
Yeah, so it's there. It can possess monsters and empower them and stuff like that. So it really adds to kind of a repeatability, different flavor every time you go into it, because it can have different powers. And here we're seeing a chronomancer attacking. So they just picked a talent there. Basically, there's sub-objectives in each of the different rooms. So the basic journey in each of these missions are 6 rooms, 6 different areas that you're venturing through. There's going through the Japanese haunted forest now, and you're going to go back into the city so you can see how the terrain changes there. Going from one area where the objective was to kill monsters. In this area, the objective, there's going to be monsters that obstruct you, but you'll see another objective pops in there to capture uplinks. So as you complete these objectives, they're trying to complete the objectives there. As you complete these objectives, you see the 2 and the 1 at the top, you kind of power up, and then you're able to pick more kind of like session progression powers as you go through it.
Okay, so who is the 2 and who's the 1? Is that like the 1 is the enemies?
You got it. So the 2 are the hero mages that are playing in the co-op match here.
Gotcha.
And then the 1 is sort of the Veil Demon and all the enemies, kind of where their power level's at.
Because this is a PvE match that we're watching.
Oh, and here we've got a Fu Dog from Asian mythology. And then the Nighthawk doing some aerial juggle there that tried to rescue the Chronomancer who just got hit by that Fu Dog. Bounce back. That trap there that just sprung up was done by the Veil Demon set that brought the terrain in from the other side. This Battle Mage, he's a heavy hitter, just hit it down, or she's a heavy hitter. But now the Fu Dog is like glowing. That means the Veil Demon's controlling it and now took out the Mana Warrior, and now the other person is reviving them. So it's kind of like Left 4 Dead, that you can revive each other and stuff like that.
Cool.
Now, of course, we can see this from the Veil Demon perspective because our other mode is versus mode. And in versus mode, like I could play the Veil Demon and you can play a hero, and then you have 3 AI heroes, so you and I can just kind of brawl it out in this thing. Or we can play against 2 buddies. You can do any kind of combination, 1v1, 1v2, 1v3, that kind of thing.
Up to how many?
Up to 4. Up to 4 heroes and 1 Veil Demon. So that's kind of like a fun alternate mode. Like the main mode is the co-op mode.
Yeah. So, okay, I just want to clarify. This is not the Veil Demon. It is the Veil Demon possessing.
You got it. You got it. Thanks for asking that. So you'll see now that the gunslinger's taking out this the Fu Dog, or trying to. They're teaming up on him, and you'll see in a moment here when the thing dies, there's the Veil Demon. Basically, the Veil Demon never dies. It's a smoke monster.
Got it.
And the last area I was telling you about is you fight the boss. This is a big Oni from Japanese mythology, but it's kind of our take on the Oni.
So as far as abilities go, I know, let's get deeper into what it means to choose a class.
Sure.
Besides just weapons.
Yeah. Well, you can see the 5 abilities down there for each of the different classes. So when you choose a class, you have 5 different abilities. This right here is the Chronomancer trying to get out of the way of the Oni. But you get these 5 abilities. Now, as you play each individual class has their own level. So when they complete this match, they'll level up a bit. And then as you level up your class, you're able to unlock some of those abilities and swap them with other abilities in other classes that you've earned.
Oh, so in a way you can almost create a class.
You can create your own class, more or less.
So you're both creating a character and a class. Wow, that's a lot of customization.
Yeah. So the idea was just to have sort of a fun kind of toolkit and playground and kind of unique replayability in various different modes. Solo, co-op, and a versus mode. So and in co-op, there's different difficulty modes, of course.
Okay. So what do the different difficulties change within the different rooms?
Sure. So as your difficulty progresses, like on recruit mode, the stats are a little bit lower. The Veiled Demon and the monsters are a bit more passive. And as you progress, the stats go up a little bit, but then it comes down to the AI. And so there was you saw at the end there, the Veiled Demon actually possessed the boss monster. You can possess the boss monster as well, of course.
So if you are playing with your friends and your friend is a Veiled Demon,
yeah.
Since the Veiled Demon can't die, how do they win? How do the heroes win?
Their goal is to defeat the boss monster at the end. The Veiled Demon's goal is to wipe out all of the heroes.
Got it.
So yeah, so they're there. They're like a malevolent presence, and they're always there. But yeah, that's the goal.
So you guys just announced this game a couple of days ago. If people want to stay up to date with how they can get involved with Breach and see it in its final form, how can they find you?
Playbreach.com. We're actually accepting signups for the alpha now. We're going to start the alpha in like 3 or 4 weeks and get it out there and be able to play 18 hero classes, 6 Veiled Demon classes, a few different levels, and just start the feedback cycle going.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming by. I'm so excited about this.
Yeah.
More Gamescom 2018 coming back at you right after this.